Aloha, I am Dr. Carl, also known as Dr. Resilience. And today we're going to talk about the power of having a resilient mindset. You know, there's a story that says about the boxer who had worked with his manager on strategies to win an upcoming fight. When the fight came, he lost. Afterwards, his manager asked him why he didn't use the strategies that they'd worked on. The boxer said, "All my plans went out the window when I started getting hit in the face." Not laughing at that, but everyone gets hit in the face. Everyone goes through those tough times. When it comes to success and maintaining the right resilient mindset, there are strategies that I can offer you to help you to cultivate that right mindset. You see, because we all get knocked down. You may not need them every day, but when the time comes that you need to maintain something and have that toolbox, I have those strategies for you. So guess what? We have here today a miniature toolkit, and I'm going to go through these toolkit and offer you some of those strategies that's going to help you to maintain that resilient mindset. And guess what? The first strategy I'm going to offer, put in the chat, I'm ready for number one. I'm ready for number one. The first strategy is you got to activate crazy faith. You say, what in the world does crazy faith have to do with this? Let me tell you a story. You see, when I was in the United States Navy at the 15-year mark, I got out. What you mean got out? I was 5 years away from retirement, and in January of 1997, I put a request to my commanding officer to get out. Why? Because the age was about to be cut off at the cutoff limit. But I had to get out to be a civilian to apply for the program. So people, my colleagues and shipmates, they say, "You are crazy." Well, that crazy faith had to be activated because I had a dream so big. I wanted to become a Navy chaplain, but that would have never happened if I didn't leap out in faith and activate my crazy faith. So I'm asking you today, sometimes you need to have the strategy of activating crazy faith. Yes, people are going to call you crazy. Why are you doing this? Why are you investing so much in yourself? But guess what? You have to believe in your dreams and go after your dreams, because at the end of the day, the naysayers, the haters, they're going to be out there knocking at your door. But when you on the other side of that rainbow and say, "I've made it," you can look at it and say, "You know what? Because I had crazy faith, I did it, and I went after my dreams." So the first strategy to have a resilient mindset is you got to have crazy faith. The next strategy for your toolkit that I'm going to offer you is have an attitude of gratitude. Put in the chat, attitude of gratitude. Put in again, attitude of gratitude. You see, I've learned over the years, especially my 35 years of serving this country, darn the cloth, I had to learn how to have an attitude of gratitude. You have to find something each day to be grateful for. Something to look back and say, "You know what? What's the one thing I'm grateful for today?" Put in the chat number one. Put number one. Wake up every morning and say, "Number one thing I'm going to be grateful for today," to start off the day with, without complaining, without being negative. I'm going to say, I'm going to have an attitude of gratitude. Why? Because your attitude will determine your altitude. Someone said that, right? My attitude will determine my altitude. So start off the day with having an attitude of gratitude, because we're not always grateful. There is enough negativity around us, surrounding us on the media, social media, everywhere. People are fearful. But you know what? You can control that destiny. Wake up and have an attitude of gratitude. And I guarantee you, the way you wake up in the day, guess what? Your whole day will be filled with gratitude. Why? Because you've learned to cultivate an attitude of gratitude. The next strategy for your toolkit, say, I'm ready for the next strategy. Say, next strategy, yes, for your toolkit is that of listening. Yes, listening. Do you consider yourself a good listener? Let me ask that question again. Do you consider yourself a good listener? You see, voices are in our head all day long, negative thoughts, but are you a good listener? When people are talking, are you your mind somewhere else? You know, the one thing we do, we need to learn how to listen attentively. Somebody say attentively in the chat. Listen attentively. Why? Because the voice of God is speaking to us. Remember, there are a lot of voices out there, and we got to find that nice quiet place. And meditation, if it's scripture reading, whatever that place is in your home or your heart, get to that place and listen. You see, we're so busy, and I can talk from experience. Busy, but not accomplishing anything. So I'm asking you, on that strategy, learn to be proactive. Learn to be that person and say, I am going to be a good listener. You see, some things you got to be intentional about. I think Maxwell wrote a book about intention. We must be intentional about everything in life. I want you to be intentional about being a good listener. That's the next strategy. The next strategy is asking for help. Put in the chat, ask for help. You say, why I need to ask for help? Because guess what? No man or woman is an island to themselves. This is all a team effort. And so if you want to learn how to have the right mindset to be a resilient person, you've got to ask for help. Why? Because there are people out there, mentors, coaches that have been there, done it, got the t-shirt, the ball cap, and the coffee mug that have been there, that have paved the way for us, that can help you when those crises come. How did they overcome that? Asking for help had come ways of books, reading a plethora of books. I have surrounded by a library. I love my books. Why? Because they're filled with answers. They're filled with real stories from real people that have been there and done that. How did they get through those dark times in their life? How did they get through the depression, the divorce? I've been there, done that. How did they get through those mental health issues? But you can't get there alone. You've got to raise that hand and say, I need help. Do that. I need help. Put it in the chat. And sometimes you may need help. You may need professional help. You may need that coach and a coach to guide you along the way. Why? So you won't be there alone in the process. We all need that. So remember, the first strategy was activate crazy faith. Strategy number 2 was have an attitude of gratitude. And remember, the third strategy was you've got to listen. God gave us 2 of these and 1 of these. Learn to do that. And then the next strategy was you've got to ask for help. The next strategy, somebody said, you ready for the next strategy? Put it in the chat. Put number 5. I'm ready for the next strategy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's called self-care. Self-care. Put in the chat, self-care. Well, why do I bring up self-care? Remember, we're talking about the power of a resilient mindset. And if you don't take care of yourself, guess what? You are no good to anyone else. What good are you to help somebody else as a coach or mentor if your health is suffering? If your mental health is not where it should be, when you should be getting therapy? I speak from experience. Self-care is so important. I've learned to take trips. I've learned to go on Amtrak and just get out there and go for a ride. Go up north. You know, I remember being in D.C., going from D.C. to Boston or to New York or Providence, get a nice book and flat out all the noise. Just get it out of your mind. Get rid of that. Self-care is so important, whether it's a massage, whether it's a good book, whether it's a walk through the woods, a walking trail, or maybe it's just getting on a bike ride. Or maybe it's like me, sometime I would be at the Veteran Cemetery in Memphis. I would go sit there and guess what? In quiet and solitude. That is self-care. You've got to find what is your self-care remedy. What works for me may not work for you, but I'm offering you the strategies that help me, to help cultivate me, because there was a time that my health was suffering. I was going to the hospital after hospital clinic for headaches, and they thought I had a heart attack because I had pushed myself so hard. I wasn't taking care of self. Hey, I was a Navy chaplain, answering a call to everyone that called on those phones, crisis management. But guess what? At the end of the day, I didn't take care of myself. And so I had to learn how to do self-care. You know what? Sometimes you have to cut the phone off. You have alternate duty sections, as we had. Other people, you know what? This is not the right time for this. Can we reschedule this? Are you controlling your planner for self-care? On your planner is self-care on your planner. Do you have it on there? If not, I strongly recommend you put self-care up there. If it's just the first hour of the day, or first 20 minutes, reading, whatever it is, plan to have self-care in your regimen, because you'll find out it will help you. The next set, somebody say, you ready for the next strategy? What is the next strategy? The next strategy is the mindset. Woo, yes, this right here, they said this is a battlefield. Yes, it is a battlefield. Why? Because we're so inundated with thoughts after thoughts after thoughts that come in this thing right here, the mind. And if you don't do the right things, think on the right things. There's a scripture that said, think on these lovely things. Think on beautiful things. Why? Because we're all negativity surrounding us. It's knocking on your door. It's in the chat. You know what? It's on the phone. Social media is full of it. People are just so overwhelmed these days. But you don't have to be overwhelmed. You do not have to be overwhelmed. Why? Because guess what? I will have a different mindset. You see, if I didn't have the right mindset, I would have given up a long time ago. You see, in my 3 decades in the United States Navy, I had to have the right mindset, because I knew that when I started from the lowest of the lowest. I mean, I was an E1, Seaman Recruit Barnes in 1983 in the Navy. My first ship was the USS Paul FF-1080. And I did things that people laughed at, painting and scraping the barnacles on the ship. I probably was the barnacle being scraped off the ship. I'm laughing now, but back then it was nothing to laugh at. People made fun of me. But my mindset knew that eventually I would not stay in this place. And you must tell yourself, I have refused to stay in this place. I'm just passing through. Remember, we all have chapters in our book. You might be in a chapter that's in the valley, because I heard that the richest place to be is in the valley. It is why? Because it's the most fertile. It's where things grow. It's where you're going to grow as a leader, as a coach, as a mentor, as an entrepreneur, as an author, whatever that calling is in your life. Remember that you have now some strategies that will help you have that resilient mindset. Why? Because these strategies will help you get through those times that are going to come, where the door is going to knock, and that knock on the door is not going to always be pleasant. So I'm just encouraging you to remember, you have to have the right mindset, because that right mindset will lead you to your promised land only if you do the right thing by asking for help and having the mindset, have self-care, learn to listen, learn to have an attitude of gratitude, and learn how to activate crazy faith. The next one I want to talk about, the next strategy. Somebody said next strategy. Put in the chat, I am ready for the next strategy. I am ready for the next strategy. That next strategy is change your circle. Woo! Let me say that again. Change your circle. What you mean? My friends are my friends? Not everybody has your best interests at heart. Let me say that again. Not everybody's out there going to have your best interests at heart. Remember, we're talking about the power of a resilient mindset. And I'm just offering you a few strategies to help you to frame that right, resilient mindset. You see, who are you hanging around? Who are you hanging around? Who are you allowing to be at your table? They say that you can tell a lot about a person by the 5 people they associate with, not 10. The 5 people they associate with. Who are those 5 people that you are letting into your life? Are they pouring in your life? Are they pouring positivity in your life? Or are they subtracting? Are they adding, dividing, or subtracting? If they're not adding, you need to cut them loose. Block some numbers if necessary. Why? Because you need to change your circle. Because if you want to get to the next level and have that power of a resilient mindset, it means that you have got to change your circle. Who are you associated with? Who are you allowing to sit at your table? You know what? You don't have to have a chair there for them. You can leave them out. Because why? They're not pointing to you. If somebody's always pointing negativity to you, you need to cut them loose. Plain and simple. Why? Because they're not contributing to your growth. Your growth is more important than anything else. Who is a part of your inner circle? Woo! Put inner circle in the chat. Who is in your inner circle? Your inner circle is so important. Are these people that are at the level that you want to be at? Are they at the level that you desire to be at? Have they accomplished so much in your life? You know what? I want to do what they're doing. I aspire to do what they're doing. I follow them on social media. I'm reading their books. I'm reading all this stuff about them and realize that it didn't happen overnight. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry to break your bubble, but the busted, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take some hard work. It's going to take some sweat equity, as I heard. Woo! I'm sweating up in here now. It's going to take some sweat equity to get to where you want to go. Yes, we follow them, but you know what? Are you investing in workshops? Are you investing in masterminds? Are you investing in going to conferences? Are you investing in pouring into yourself? It's called investment. Are you investing in yourself? I'm not talking about Netflix and binge watching all night long. That time can be spent reading some books. I'm getting ahead of myself because that's the strategy. But I'm talking about change your circle. Are the people you're around doing things that inspire you? You know, that makes a big difference. Sometimes you have to just change your whole circle. If people don't serve you, cut them loose. Cut them off because they are not contributing to your growth. Is your circle helping you to your next level of success, or are they dampening you? Let's pause on that for a minute. Are they contributing to your growth, or are they dampening your growth? And if that's the case, you need to do some reevaluation and change that circle, because guess what? You need to include people that are going to be a part of your growth, that's going to pour into you, that's going to water your seeds as they grow and germinate. Because it is so important. Sometimes just to be around people just because, no, you got to cut them loose. They're not contributing to your growth. Your success is more important than having a lot of friends. Remember the 5 people who are in your life. You've got a dream. You've got a vision. If you are with the wrong circle of people, they will hold you back. Let me say that again. If you're around the wrong set of people, they will hold you back. And so remember, first thing we talked about, the first strategy for your toolkit, activate crazy faith, have an attitude of gratitude, learn to listen, learn to ask for help, learn self-care, also the mindset, and also remember to change your circle. And the last strategy I'm going to offer you is that sometimes you got to face the darkness. Not every day is going to be a rainbow. Not every day is going to be beautiful sunny skies. We just went through a storm here. The hurricane was horrible, but there's rain that came. But also we just found out that the sun came out. Some days are going to be ugly. Some days are going to be dark. Some days are going to be gloomy. But to have the power of a resilient mindset means that despite all that, I'm going to persevere through those storms. I'm going to persevere. Why? Because I'm going to maintain true north to get what I want, because my vision is so big in me that I refuse to stop. Don't let no become your medicine. We're talking about the power of a resilient mindset. So the last strategy that I'm going to offer for this session today, somebody put in the chat, I'm ready. Are you ready? I'm ready. I see that. Yeah, let it come. Face your darkness. When you're successful, when you're trying to get build a resilient mindset, you are building your legacy, a legacy that carries and after your dreams, after your demise, it happens. So work on that, because it's not if, it's when. Work on that. But sometimes we don't want to open the door on the other side because we don't know what's there. Nobody don't know what's there. When I got out of 15 years and they said, crazy, you're stupid and crazy for leaving a 15-year career, not knowing if the answer is going to be yes to be a Navy chaplain, I was willing to face whatever happened. All they could say was no. But by me facing that, it was scary. Yes, life is scary at times. And remember, it's not going to always be pleasant. But that's what makes you a resilient leader. That's what gives you a power mindset of a resilient leader, because facing your darkness. Yes, we love the laughter, we love the rainbows, we love the sunshine, but sometimes the darkness will come. So again, all those strategies I just mentioned are part of being in your toolkit if you want to continue to have a right mindset. We're talking about the power of a mindset. I can tell you a plethora of stories that I've gone through, but for the time I have here, I just want to share a few of these strategies to help you to maneuver. Why? Because I believe each and every one of you have the power to have a resilient mindset. And all I did was offer you some strategies. So if you want to contact me further, you can go to my email me at drresilience701@gmail.com. Let me say that again, drresilience701@gmail.com. Instagram is at Dr. Carl Barnes. Facebook and LinkedIn, just put in Carl Barnes. It has been a pleasure to serve you today, to talk to you about the power of a resilient mindset. I look forward to hearing from you. And remember, you can have a resilient mindset. All you got to do is just believe in yourself. Thank you so very much.